sow a little bit of discord here, displacement on the shock, and they don't seem too bothered for the time being, but they're trying to focus on the Dragons' front line. They can't get purchase. Violet gets caught by the power driver there, and that brief moment could be fading away, but Nero's able to find 2 kills on the back line. A great opening for San Francisco here. They want to brawl around this Reaper, and so far, it looks alright.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for Shanghai to get aggressive and dive into this. You have so much healing with the Moira in place, right? The ability to speed away if you need to. And we've had so much action, and we're only at 20% on the clock. That'll be EMP and Rally used here. Rally's going to be popped from Shanghai.
Yeah, and I mean, the Dragons might not get too much value out of this here. Jagon keeping his team topped up for the time being. FD got over the edge somehow, maybe hacked in midair, it's unclear. Izayaki might have time to return to this fight and actually get some value out of the Transcendence now, Matt. This may have gone wrong for San Francisco. Nero can't find anything with the defense matrix in his way. Finally, he gets rid of Lee Jagon, but the Dragons have the numbers.
And 3-on-3 here, so you do have 3 players by the point, both supports and Glister.
Oh! Great timing, Glister's able to get out with the translocate just before the EMP came down. Violet able to take down Void, has to give up his life for it, but it may well be worth it. Flatter had to recall away from certain death, but the Dragons still have control, Matt.
Yeah, so the Dragons hold on. With that last kind of push in by San Francisco.
The Shock really would like to end this fight with just an EMP, and it hits the backline. It's a good start. They lose Glister off screen, but they do serious work on the backline, and they do get Jagon and Izayaki. Coalescence to follow it up means there should be a wash for the Shock, and they have a couple ultimates to spare.
So we've seen teams try and battle Shanghai with different types of compositions against this Wrecking Ball. We haven't really seen anybody be that successful. I really like this look from San Francisco at the start. It's going to be
winning this round, and already Lips made his foray onto the point there. EMP comes out. FD okay, not hit by it. He's able to get the sound barrier. That means Super and Violet are going to be able to stay alive despite having no abilities. That's the interaction the Shock are looking for.
And you still have Primal here to extend it if it gets dangerous for the Shock, but you get Void already. You're going to have the Death Blossom come down, get both supports. So that's all you're going to need in this fight for San Francisco. And in a few fights
is pancaked. Lip on the point with the EMP, and he lets it go immediately. Super stunned, locked down, and removed. And it's going to be the Dragons with that player advantage now. The Shock have to come up with something real quick.
Yeah, you see Choi just getting onto the point constantly, trying to touch, send it into OT. Nice bomb from Void. It's going to get both supports.
And that's going to be it for the San Francisco Shock. Not too many people come back from that one. And after a little bit of stall, that has to be it. It will be the first round of the show. The start of the fight is big though, but it's a trade of main supports, and Lee Jagon's going to be switching to the Brig here. So the Dragons change tack pretty quickly. They know they're dealing with the rush down. As Nero goes after Izayaki, and Flatter's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, look at this from the Shock. They actually have players behind them that are near the point, and they just give these players up. They know they can push forward and try and make a play happen. That's going to be a boop off the side. FD God's going to deal with Fleta, as you do have a player advantage here for the Shock, so they're going to be...
He clings to life for the time being, though, but again, it's only going to be repair packs coming his way. I think Nero with the Death Blossom now is ready to intercept the supports, but is wary of the Brigade. Shield Bastion wasn't ready for Izayaki. Coming through with a volley. Transcendence has to be used here for the Dragons, but it's a good lead, a solid one for San Francisco, and they look to extend it with some stall.
Yeah, and you'll have the Primal here from Super. He's going to get dropped. You have FD God still as well, but this will be a flip. So Shanghai will take the point back.
They're trying to get to him, but instead of the point, looks like it's rally target. Death Blossom's going down right now, and Lee Jagon's going to be felled by it. Flatter also is knocked out of duplication. It brought him a stay of execution, but nothing more than that. Fate's removed, and Nero's safe on the point, and Flatter's flying too close to the ground. Nero blows him up. It has to be a recall away from Lip, but Nero just moves on to the next target. It's another day at the office here for the Hellfire shotguns, but Lip's causing problems. He recalled away, and Nero has to leave.
Oh, I mean, he was
Nero, but he also is just getting hosed out by his teammate. The Shock have the healing, is the follow-up there. Sound barrier looks like a good gear to switch to now, and San Francisco are in charge.
Oh, that's going to be 2 players, so that sticks on the Super, and I think he jumps right into FD God.
Lip is insane. Absolutely unreal. Not enough, though, when he's hacked, can't get away. San Francisco get back, but they're breathing a sigh of relief after their double pulse.
Yeah, and I really think this Reaper
needs to collect with Izayaki here, and he's been close enough on the high ground. Oh, he tries to drop, but he's too late to keep Fate alive, and he almost goes over the edge as well. Thank God for the slight speed boost that he experiences in Transcendence, but Nero's going to ruin Lee Jagon, and Izayaki pops out of Transcendence into the face of a very angry Simeon. Nero in a great spot here. He's going to step away from this one, and San Francisco has shown that they can be competitive here. This is a great look for them, Matt, and they're going to even things up on Ilios.
Yeah, and it is a dangerous scenario.
Damage amp via the Orb of Discord. Coalescence, though, pretty darn good. Whether you're at the car wash or in a game of competitive Overwatch, it's pretty handy. Violet's going to try and keep healing down, but Nero goes over the pit. Nothing he can do about it as well. Caught inside that Death Blossom, and 2 more go. FD got Six Fate careening over the edge. Void also is down. It's going to be a Transcendence here for the Dragons, but they're trying to get themselves out of a loop. It's a stigma that's just got bigger and bigger now that people just accept it as gospel. Let's see if they can, again, break those chains. Nero going to go down to the Pulse Bomb there from Fleta, though, and it's a pretty hefty EMP from Lip to put Dragons back in the driver's seat.
Look how much they have to use, though. I mean, you can see that they definitely feel the need to invest incredibly heavy into that. I think they're just trying to find a target, right? You know, make a play for the supports, try and get a play going on. But you see how far Izayaki was playing. So far away. They're going to get Li gone, though.
Is there more to follow that up? Self-destruct here. Izayaki can't get good value here from the Transcendence. Okay, so most of the time he's just, being knocked out of the way here. Nero's got to come for him, though, and so he does.
And they force out the trance during that as well. You're not even going to win this fight.
I mean, I don't know how Fleta. Don't use support ultimates. Put them in an incredibly commanding position.
They don't use EMP.
Oh, my.
I mean, that is...
You literally couldn't ask for any more here.
No, and you see, they're going to have to use the EMP. They're going to try and use it as the shot get over aggressive, and this may end up paying off for them.
Choi demeched for essentially 3 players up for San Francisco. But they still have the point. It's going to be Nimby coming back the other way, and Nero's going to commit with the Death Blossom anyway, but Izayaki shuts him down. Maybe the Shock just got a little bit ahead of themselves there, Matt.
And the Shock used their own EMP, but look at this. FD got back, and he's contesting, just trying to jump around the map. So, he'll jump down into the well, as that is one that the Shock
somehow just gets nothing against Void. His translocator must have been destroyed. Not a good look now, and the Shock are running out of time. This has gone from decent to terrible. They've got to commit a sound barrier now on their side of the map, and it's an EMP that comes in that shuts down Violet and FD God. It's all gone wrong for the San Francisco Shock. Inches away from victory here on a crucial control map. They've let it slip. Glister there's going to have to reveal himself on the point to stall things out, but he translocates out immediately. Absolutely devastating for San Francisco. It's not there. They have to coalescence here.
How did they end up over here? Okay, so we're going to coalescence from this angle. You're going to try and deal with Fleta with the coalescence. So
someone collect their man! Wait, Violet!
This is still going. I mean, the kill on a Fate here is huge. You're going to have to invest again.
Yeah, Violet goes down there. Fleta just decides to make this barrage happen. And the Shock have showcased us in the last 10 minutes that being put in awkward situations, they don't know how to get themselves out of them, right? We saw that at the end of Ilios there on Well. Glister has the EMP right now, play from behind the shield. That's a sound barrier, and the front line of the Dragons are affected here. Hitting the back line, not so important with the EMP without a Zen in the mix, but Fate and Glister are traded out, and the Dragons are giving as good as they get despite getting hit with the EMP. It's lights out for the Dragons, and they're still able to come alive here. Fate's brought back into the fight, and Lee Jae-gon continues to deliver.
That's going to be the barrage there with the Bob. You're in a position for Shanghai where you do not really feel threatened in the neutral game. You can invest these ultimates in.
And it's back to work. Fate is going to be removed at least by FD God, but the Dragons don't seem pressed right now, Matt, at all. Look at this. Violet has to dive so deep, and Mira gets out after being topped up, but there's no Moira.
I mean, you're going to have Super back on the ball. He'll be able to touch, but I do not think that touch is going to result in much of anything, as this defense from Shanghai has been dominant. This has been a statement on defense, as you know, they have really dunked on the Shock here.
And that gulf that we sort of predicted between these two teams has really turned into a gaping chasm of galactic proportions on this map. Nero gets coach gunned into next Tuesday. Unfortunately, it'll be too late to compete in the Overwatch League final, so he might want to try and dial that back a little bit. And there it is, the Dragons you already know is coming. Fleta will wait, he will dive, he will barrage. Good teleport out of the way there by Super, fleet footwork, and Fleta is going to be evaded for the most part. Troy gets rid of him there. Pile Driver goes in there. You can see the constantly Izayaki sending darts across the battlefield. Void's going to be demeched here, but so is Troy Coben and Lee Jae-gon. Yes, channeling that aggressive side, diving deep there into the fight. FD God is not able to skirt himself away from one of those mines. He's out of the picture, and Fate flattens Troy Coben. This should be over.
Yeah, with the situation that the Shock were in, it was just a matter of time, as that's an EMP built up by Lip. Already had the barrage come through. They only need one tick And that's Shanghai taking a quick 2-0 series lead here against the Shock. In his face.
They might have to play aggressively through the hotel here, but Fleta is going to deny that. Glister.
That's a lot of their movement capabilities with Teleporter.
I mean, it's also a lot of their damage in later fights there, which is the only way they can really contest with Farah in a drawn-out engagement, Matthew. This is over already. This fight is absolutely done like a dog's dinner. Super clinging to life here. Fleta trying to find a way to shuck him out of the corner.
We saw them have answers for some of the compositions with the Winston, Moira, Lucio, with the not allow the payload to get to that first corner. Obviously, Shanghai knows this. They want to deter that. That's so much of their healing there.
What part of this composition answers Fleta? You know what I mean? They walk into this series.
So Choi, it's really like the defense matrix of Choi plus the speed boost is supposed to get them in position to not...
He's looking for God knows what. Super almost finds him with the fire strike there. It's going to be a 4-player EMP follow up with the shatter. It's a good connection from Super. The bomb's there to find his Yaki. The Shock lose Glister, but they're in a commanding spot now. Well, or are they?
No, because you have the Valkyrie here from Lee Jae-gon. He may be able to even get a res off here, and they're going to bring his Yaki back in the fight.
Oh, this is diabolical from the Shanghai Dragons. Fleta still has a safe position from this high ground. Super goes deep to find Void, but Fleta just takes to the skies. Lip is going to be removed here, and Lee Jae-gon's trying to play from that high ground there as Mercy, not have to be constantly flying around, but he gets hacked, can't follow Fleta in.
Range, kind of playing in an off angle, just annoying, and he's also very strong up close.
Do you think they wanted Izayaki there, Matt?
Yeah, my God. Something tells me he was the target.
San Francisco just collapse on top of him, and he's removed, taken down by a skill orb of all things. And that will be the San Francisco Shock executing their win condition. So they've still got 6 players to work with, and Choi Hoban is taking a ton of damage right now, but it's nearest turret out of the picture. Choi doesn't get away with the mech.
Yeah, and he had another EMP for Lip here, and he's going to connect with 4. This might be enough to get the cart over the line for Shanghai.
And so it is. Double sticky bomb kill there for Fleta. Nero obviously was still on the Torbjorn there. The Molten Core.
No ultimates to work with here for the Shock. They may end up with a Deadeye here in just a sec.
Lip. There it is. EMP for 5. It's good, but Glister's going to try something with the Deadeye from the back line. No way. Fleta runs him down, of course. A sticky bomb, and then the Diva in his face. Molten Core on the cart. It's like trying to ice a cake here with the garden hose, I suppose. Fate going to spin around now, and it's going to be the Shock struggling to get any purchase. They're forced away. The Dragons have no time bank to spare.
I was going to say, them everywhere. All right, so you get the turret set up here. This is like almost what you would set up on defense with the turret.
All right, Fate. Looking to get rid of that. Okay, dumped him with the power driver there. Immortality Field was in play, and Nero's hunting for Fleta. Overload used, Fleta saved off for now, and Fate's going to be removed. San Francisco look a little more comfortable here, playing more compact, more slow, and waiting for the Dragons to come to them.
So that you're still playing relatively quick, right? It's just a different type of style where you're trying to take advantage of Shanghai's composition with maybe you're a little bit more sturdier, being able to use an overload with a flash. Yeah, nice heat there by Choi. He's had a few of those so far that series. They catches Yaki up top, but you see how fast they're there to help him.
Izayaki down, Super swing with the hammer. Look at the Shock, they bunker up wherever they can find shelter, and it's a big shatter from Super. That's the Reinhardt play they're looking for. A little bit of that MTD from your boy Matt DeLisi.
Okay, so
EMP from the high ground, that's 6. Good capture, but other Dragons really there to follow up. Oh, yes, Miro can't run away. His stumpy legs don't allow him to clear the blast radius, and the rest of the Shock are going to be rounded up.
And now the Shock, they'll have to come back on this next attack and deal with double support Altier.
Listen, you slip me something, we'll pretend we never saw that, Chris. What do you reckon? Got any rare Magic Gathering cards? I'll take those.
It'd be tough. We're not deleting this VOD, I tell you what. We've been here long enough. We're not deleting this one.
Oh, Nero, okay. Nicely done. And the Molten Core really pays again.
So you're going to play this through.
Okay, that amplification matrix shut down.
That is filthy.
So Mum comes in and pulls the plug out from the TV. You're not watching the Idiot box anymore, Mitch.
So Lip changes right away. So like I mentioned, I didn't think he wanted your... It's going to take advantage of this double shield, right?
Shock are trying to leverage every opportunity they can to get ahead. And you got to do that against... Oh, no! Super is screeching impotently as Fleta charges him out of the way with the duplicator. Now he's sat on a big old shatter. Oh, and he's got to use it as well. It doesn't get any worse than this. Fetter's not a tank player, but he just delivered some hot and steaming MTD, baby.
That was a filthy...
Steal your job. All right, M-Matrix and Super Vaporizes. Unreal! What a moment for this to happen. Choi fighting 5 with the self-destruct.
What in the world?
Even though they got 3 out here, I don't think they should be too disappointed or too tilted about their compositional choices and how they played this one. Was this the 6K bomb as well?
Yep.
Oh, 5K
Oh,
bomb.
man.
And then
By the looks, it's going to be a main wall thrown up and Fletter's able to charge in. Look at the Dragons, able to regain the composure after suffering some circumstances that pro players, even them, probably not used to.
I mean, if that doesn't rattle you, I mean, your team is ice cold. That is one for the ages right there. Choi gets a 5-player self-destruct, and then the
Heroics and Troy Coben are still fighting for even footing against the Dragons. That's just how scary this team is. Snowball is deployed, and here comes the Blizzard. Transcendence is in play from Mizuyaki, though, but it's just not enough. It's not nearly enough to keep his tanks alive.
That's a good thing for the Shock as well. Using that Transcendence, that's huge. Can you finish? Oh, they're so low, though.
Super has no healing. Really, Eftigod's trying to get there in time, but Tricoben's desuited and getting pressured down by a focusing beam. Flatter, he's going to go for it. Deep into the backline, he's looking for Violet. The San Francisco Shock is trying to stay alive, but the legs come back out. Unfortunately, they're not long enough, nor is San Francisco's time in this series, as they are banished to the lower bracket by the Shanghai Dragons.
That is a 3-0 statement from the Shanghai Dragons. They said they wanted the Shock. They felt like it was going to be an easier match, and they proved that it would be. Even with this incredible play here from Choi. Does that actually go through the teleporter?
It may well have.
Yeah, it looked like potentially it did. Man, that is a...